Hi, everyone, and thank you for coming and stopping into uh, our Married at First Sight. I was going to say Mavs, our Married at First Sight season 13 recap. Let's get it going. I'm Crystal Lynette, as you know, and Misha Allen. And ooh, y'all, the show drives me to drink. This show is, and this is only the beginning. We haven't seen the true hurricane yet, so. Ooh. Anyway, let's get it going. Who do you want to start with, Misha?
Let's get into Ryan and Brett.
Okay.
What really got to me was her when they went to Jose's house for the barbecue, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say she woke up, but she's been like real giddy and like, oh my gosh, I get butterflies, and Ryan's like, I don't feel that way. But once she got in front of the other couple, she's like, we're definitely behind in this. So what did you think about them this episode?
That is so funny you went to that specific scene because I actually, and you saw Merla was laying across the bed. Gil was like massaging Mirla's
But she said
shoulder.
she don't like going to people's houses.
Right. But Brett, I was like, almost like, huh, Gil is really paying attention to this girl. Like I almost thought, we didn't even, of course, because Gil is Colombian and everything, but I was like, it was a better couple. He was very
I had that thought about him and Brett. And I also had that thought about Jose and Merla, because the way she was looking at him, her eyes were all beady, staring at Jose in his house, laying in his bed. You just said you don't like people's houses. Now you laying in this man's bed. But yeah, I definitely saw like y'all could have swapped these two in the discussion.
Yeah, and I for so long have been not really looking at the Mirla and Jose of it all because she's so stuck in her ways and he's so stuck in his ways that would have just been a fighting match. But to your point, I almost think, she's looking at that house and how comfortable she was. I said, I think she might be right there. But she said, I hate comparing, I know it's not good to compare couples, but yeah, I can tell how far we are from where the other couples are. And I think she really likes him and he's not there. This guy's not attracted to her. Like he thinks she's pretty, but he's not attracted to her. And he's like, I'm waiting for a spark. I'm waiting for a feeling. That feeling is not going to come for poor girl. Uh, them playing Jenga really annoyed the heck out of me because that was all her boasting about this man and stroking his ego. We're talking about Brett and Ryan, right? You're stroking his ego. You're talking about you love his muscles. You love all of these things. Where are his cards? And he even asked, what about my cards? What about mine? What's the reciprocation? You want reciprocation, but you're not giving him leeway to give you any type of reciprocation. So that was a trip to me. And it was just kind of sad because you could see that she is all in. She is into this man and he is not there and is not going to get there. Excuse me. I just got this feeling. I just felt bad for her because it's just not going to happen. He's not there. He's looking for, as we said, like Taylor Swift or Miranda Lambert, and she's not that. And I'm not even talking about the look. He wants it out. She's just not his type, and he wants that outdoorsy type. Yeah, the Jenga annoyed me. I really was like, when is he going to be able to say what he likes? When is he going to be able to? And honestly, I don't know if he would, given the opportunity. I don't know that he would, because he holds so much in, and we've all said how much stress he's got behind his eyes. He holds so much
Yeah.
in. Um, yeah, it was really kind of sad. What else can you think of with them? That's it. I can't think of anything else. You can't think of
Yeah,
anything else.
I felt I was just like, because my thing, I feel like Brett is really trying, even like she said with Gil and all them in Jose's bedroom, if you want to build butterflies, you have to work towards that. You can't just sit there and say you don't feel anything. So yeah, I agree with her on that. And I feel like Brett's trying, she's been trying to get to know him, asking questions, like stating her feelings.
Yep.
She's been putting on more makeup, look like she went and got her hair done, got her hair cut, and she's been like staying on top of herself, trying to create that magic for him. Ryan is not budging. And it's just, it's weird. It feels like a repeat of Ryan and Clara in the sense that Ryan wouldn't say what it was that would like was stopping him from falling in love for Clara or stopping him from being intimate with Clara. So I feel like that's where we are here with Brett and Ryan. Like, okay, Ryan, what is it?
Yeah, and you just
We
put up the
he
wall and not say
seemed
anything.
yeah, he seemed annoyed with the whole she's afraid of flying and the kayaking and not wanting to look in the water at the seal, whatever was in the
It was a
water.
manatee.
Like, he seemed annoyed. Like that's all I've really got as far. He made a lot of comments about her red hair, but I don't know what else there could be. Like, is that's like that part's not clicking. Brett seems like a great girl. To me, she's beautiful. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Ryan.
Girl, manatees are 900 pounds. They're not little, they're not little. And if she's not used to
Mhm.
it, she's not used to it. Like, come on. If she saw it, she said, okay, I looked already. I'm not gonna just like jump in the water with the manatee. Like, leave me alone about it. At
Mhm.
least she's trying. She's somebody that's like, that's not my cup of tea, but at least I'll try. And a lot of people would just
Right.
like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna stick my heels in and not do it. And she's at least trying to get herself out there. Um, and he's just not saying a word. And honestly, I also feel like, one, as you just said, I feel like he's doing this out of obligation now. He's like, I'll stick with it because I got 2 more months, but I really don't want to. That's what I get from him.
Mhm.
And I also think that he's used to being the chaser. She is has let him know that I'm interested. I want you, and yeah, I want to get to this place where we can, consummate our marriage. All of these things, and he's used to be, because he's had all of these dates. He's just a serial dater, right? So he's used to searching for a woman like a certain type of woman, finding her and leaping, and this is not it. This is not the same. This is not the same. So he's just got to get out of his head. He is all in his head. That's it. That's all I got for them.
Yeah, so let's move
Mhm.
on to Rachel and Jose. I don't know where you want to begin with them,
I
but
want to
I'll
begin
let
at
you
the
have it.
beginning. I want to begin at the beginning. I don't roll my toothpaste from the bottom to the top. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a confession. I don't roll my toothpaste from the bottom to the top. I didn't even think about it. I was like, well, when she goes to brush her teeth the next day, she can smooth the toothpaste out. It's not a big deal. It's not going to take you an hour to smooth the toothpaste out. No big deal. The fact that he does those little things, and I think that, and that sometimes I look at production like they focus on the stupid stuff, but I think that he did definitely said it, and I think that she gets annoyed by all the little the nitpicking stuff. That was the beginning. I love the little goats. I love the goats were just more
Mm.
adorable. Like it's not like I'm gonna have. And also, goats eat everything. Like I looked at that goat. I said that goat is gonna eat your hat. I was like that goat is about to eat his hat. But they were cute though. They were adorable.
I couldn't have no little billy goats crawling all on me
They were
during
baby
the
goats.
yoga. I
I don't
was
even know
like,
what
no,
where they
thank
do that
you.
at though. I was like, just like you don't put a dog to sleep, goat yoga. That makes no sense. That's really not. That's not. I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know where that's a thing. Like people are making money out here.
Yeah,
It was like
I have no clue. I
I
was
was
my
like
first
goat
time hearing
yoga.
about that. I was like,
Where
huh?
where
Okay.
is this a goat? There's no goat yoga. So that was funny. Um, I knew that this was going to come up. Oh, uh, before I get to the conversation. Oh no. This is part of it. The cheating thing. No, let's go back. He does not listen, and I knew that this. We had talked about this before. That this man does not listen. He wants to do all the talking. He wants to consult his board, but he's not going to actually listen to her. And but I appreciate the fact that she said it. She's like, I need you to be more of a listener. I don't mind you talking. You talk a lot. That's fine, but you need to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I'm a guy. I'm a guy. And he even knew that that was a cop out. He even knew that was a cop out. Um, and he's not going to listen. He just keeps squawk, 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 squawk. He has taken over for Squawking Gill, and he's not actually going to be an active listener. And it was actually kind of funny because every time she was trying to give him an example, he would come back at her with something. It's just like the dinner party with the board. It was just a lot of just not listening. Okay, so let's get to the cheating thing. One, I'm not condoning it. Yes, it was wrong. She was young. She was drunk. She said 2 years into her 8 year relationship. So the guy stayed with her after she immediately confessed. Um, and I know issues with it with her with his parents and everything. So that's a trigger for him. At the same time, I feel like this man really did he listen when she said, I did learn something. This is what I learned from it. I know not to put myself in that position again. I know I'll never do that again. She said all of those things. Um, and then he came back at her with my brother says that if you put yourself in her, he did some analogy, and this is what my brother
What's
said.
this analogy?
Yes. Oh, we're gonna
So
get
talking
into
about
it.
if you go to the barber shop, you're gonna get your hair cut.
You're eventually
I
gonna
was
get
like,
your hair
oh,
cut.
okay, that's what you go to the barber shop for. But
Right.
okay.
Like it's not eventual. You go get your hair cut. I can't see any. I can't see any comments. So if they're commenting, I don't know what's going on with my comments. So I can't see them.
I don't see anything either. So
Oh, okay, so maybe people aren't commenting, which is fine. I just don't can't see them. So, but yeah, if you go to the barbershop, you're gonna eventually get your hair cut. I was like, what? If you go to the barbershop, you're supposed to be getting your hair cut the first time. So I thought that was strange. Um, you think anything is up? Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm getting likes, so I don't know
Okay,
if
so maybe
people are
nobody's coming in.
commenting
Okay,
or just watching, but I don't see
and maybe they
anything.
are. Um, so I thought that was this analogy about the barbershop, which made no sense. It had no reference to the cheating. And then he got up and he did his little talking head and said, "Once a cheater, always a cheater." Um, and then he said, "Once a cheater, always a cheater" to the talking head. After that,
Mhm.
he gets up and he says, "Well, how am I supposed to guarantee if you go on a girls' night that you'll never do that again?" And I think that this conversation went longer than it was supposed to. I'm not assuming. Okay, I got dinged
Mhm.
for just like assuming that the camera, like that they edited it. But she said, "You're gonna have to trust me." Short of putting a GPS on her phone, on her car, and on her a tracker on her phone, and short of hell, what it was I watching Jasmine W's review, and she was like, "What are you going to do? Lock her coochie down? She's not going to cheat. Like she says she's not going to do it, but you can't keep doing this to this girl. Like she's can't. What is she going to do?" So um, you have to trust her. This is a marriage. You're going to have to trust her. Yes, they just met each other, but you're going to have to trust her. So I thought that was interesting. I don't condone it, but at the same time, it sounded like she was very young. Um, and I almost feel like he's always looking for the, just like she's looking for the next, the shoe to drop, he's looking for it now. And even though he doesn't listen a lot, the negative
Yeah.
stuff he remembers. He remembered that all the way from
Yeah.
the boat cruise. So go ahead. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. So go ahead. I've talked enough.
Yeah, I think he's already showed before, like at the beginning of the season, that he's insecure. So her bringing this up is kind of like, I think it's triggering for him. Even she mentioned this on the honeymoon on the boat when they were doing the whole drinking game, drink if you've ever cheated, and she drunk, and he looked at her like, huh? So I guess they finally had the conversation about like what happened or whatnot. But it was kind of weird that she was kind of okay. I got where she was coming from as far as Jose being with the single mother for 4 years, knowing good and well he was not going to marry her.
Right. I
So,
forgot about that
but
part.
she was kind of like, okay, you were with her for 4 years, but you just really liked her. You were with this man for 8 years, and what happened with that? So it's kind of like the kettle calling the kettles because it's like you kind of did the same thing, Rachel. And not to mention, you were cheating very early in your relationship, regardless of your age. You guys both have had your issues in that. So her trying to make it a big deal as if she didn't do something similar was it was kind of weird, but yeah,
I
I
really,
don't know. Yeah, that's all I got from them this episode. That's all that really stuck out to me from
I
them.
really want to go back over this. So he was with the woman for 4 years. It almost seemed like he kind of strung her along because you're with the woman for 4 years, and he knew that he didn't want to marry her because she had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And but I feel like as a woman, um, if you have kids, you really want a father figure in their life. If was he stringing her along? Did he let her know like I want to have my own kids at year one or year two? But he kept on staying in the relationship because after a certain time, I'm kind of surprised that she didn't say, you know what, I have to move on because
Mm-hmm.
I want to, have a family and stuff like that. So, yeah, I kind of was side eyeing his thing because he knew, but he still stayed stuck with it
I
for 4 years. Same same with her and the guy that stayed after the marriage or after the cheating. I was like, huh. I'm either very impressed with that guy or just shocked, just surprised that this guy stayed for
so
6 more years. This for 6 more years, but and then to be honest, just like you said, if you're in an 8 year relationship, you cheat after year two, and then you stay for 6 more years. To me, I'm like, was this an on and off thing? Like on 8 years on and off, like we know somebody else likes to say. Like, what is this 8 years and you didn't expect to get walked down the aisle? That's interesting to me. So Auntie is at oh Auntie. Hey
hey,
Auntie.
Auntie.
Hey
I want
Auntie.
to clarify. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm not saying the stringing along is the same as cheating. I'm saying she was in that relationship. She cheated for whatever reason she cheated on him for. She knew something wasn't right. In my opinion, you cheat because something's missing or lacking in your relationship. So Jose knew he wasn't going to marry this woman and stayed with her for 4 years. Rachel stayed with this man for 8 years. My whole thing of this is her side eyeing Jose and not really seeing that y'all both kind of have a past with your relationships. So that was what kind of got me about it.
So they both have a past. He has a past of stringing somebody along that has kids, and I think that's where
Mm-hmm.
Rachel was like, "Huh." But
But can we kind of say in a sense that she might have been stringing him, the 8 year guy, along? Because you cheated on him early in the relationship. So to
so
me,
true. So go ahead. I'm
you
sorry.
weren't really content in that relationship, but you stayed for another 6 years. So in my mind, something wasn't right.
So to your point, and I do wonder, and like I said, I was wondering like what was cut out of that conversation because she didn't just go
Yeah.
out with more girls after 2 years and cheat. So there had to be something missing. It's not. I don't want to say. I hate to use that excuse. Something's missing in your relationship, so you cheat. But there had to be something else going on that she got with
Mhm.
somebody else. So I don't know if because she did say that she came back. She admitted it the next day. What happens with the
Mhm.
guy and her boyfriend stayed with her for another 8 or 6 years. And I don't know if it was on and off 6 years, like somebody else likes to say, or was it another full 6 years? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how is it that somebody stayed with you another 6 years? You understand what I'm saying? Like, did he try to fix it? Did and I don't remember her previous interviews. Like, did she say she was engaged and they never got married? What was it? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I don't remember. I don't remember with Rachel.
but I feel like it had to be some. There had to be. There had to be. You're not with somebody for 8 years and there was no conversation about marriage, even to say, you know what, maybe we won't get married, or he couldn't get over a something that you did or a cheat that you did 6 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So there had to be more. I feel like. Thank you, Auntie, for joining us. Keep this going. Like, so I'm glad to see you. Yes. So yeah. Hey, hi vibes. So and I think so, ladies, we did switch it from Friday to Thursday because, as you guys know, or may not know, we're doing CMK on Friday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7, or it was at 7 o'clock PST, West Coast time. So maybe that might be it. So thank you guys for coming in. I do think that Jose needs to be more of an active listener. And but Rachel also needs to speak up, and she's
Yeah,
letting
I
him
don't,
get.
with that whole scene, I don't know if it was production, but my whole point was that I felt like Rachel was dwelling on that or trying to
On
like
what?
make that an issue. So
On
that
him
was,
not
I don't
on him
know,
not
maybe it
listening.
was production, but it's like she kept saying it over and over. 4 years, 4 years, and it was just, you just really like someone for 4 years? And I'm like, Rachel, what? Like, I don't
He
know.
did say
I don't
it a
know.
couple
Maybe
times.
she was thinking he was gonna do the same thing to her, but he could have said the same thing about her, which he kind of did, but it seems like she's not really down that road anymore of being a cheater. So
I
yeah,
don't think
that's
she's
all I
down that road of being a cheater anymore, and I do think that. And I think that that's what she was trying to say to him. That that's not. I know what I learned. I learned my
yeah,
lesson. I'll never do that again.
right.
And I don't know that he's still hearing her. I think that he's still in mindset of she cheated because his parents cheated, because he said once a cheater, always a cheater. He's still in that mindset. And I actually got into a back and forth with Sean, like she didn't say it's sufficient enough for me that it was a good enough answer. And I said, they're going to have this conversation over again. You don't expect Jose to get over this right now, right away. He is going to until, I mean, what is he? But you cannot. You're gonna have to trust her. You're gonna have to trust that this is because you basically walked out on trust. You walked down this aisle on trust. You're gonna have to trust her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not like, and this
I
is not
agree.
a
So
situation.
Maya Baker,
I'm about to pull it
Maya
up here.
Baker pointed out about that Rachel said that there was more said about the 4 years and that was a longer convo. And that's what it was it didn't make sense to me. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the producers were trying to find a problem in this conversation because I felt like she kept reiterating 4 years, 4 years. And it was like they were trying to make him like I feel like they're going out of their way to make him look like he's insecure or like I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of scenes you can see the producers kind of trying to egg stuff on, even with Zach and Michaela when they're sitting there and he's going down his list and they're like ding 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 ding. I'm like, y'all didn't have to put all them doggone
Right.
dings in there. But yeah.
No, and that's what I was saying the other night, that this definitely looked like a longer conversation. This conversation looked like it was going on for much longer than it showed us. But unfortunately, we only saw what we saw. But and I said, I just don't believe that he won. That he was acceptable of that, just like that little 5 minutes. Like, let me give you the bullet points. And also, she wasn't just like 4 years and you broke up with her because she has kids. To me, if you're with somebody for a year and you know that they have a child, that's saying that you're accepting that child and everybody in the whole in the relationship. I would think, but I hear but sometimes a guy just wants to, but he still couldn't get over it. Yeah, so I believe you, Amaya, and that's exactly what I was trying to point out to Sean, is that like this conversation went on much longer. You can't just tell me that it was just like that's it, and I feel like he just totally beat the dead horse. Like, so once I said to her, once a cheater, always a cheater, and then she felt like, okay, now you're judging me.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to
Yeah.
move on to Michaela and Zach?
Yes.
Okay.
That's I need something stronger.
Let's start with this analogy. I was like, what? And he said he was sitting under a tree reading a book, and then a bee came, and I could have went to a different tree, but I wanted to stay at that tree because I like the shade of that tree. But then the bee kept coming back, and I'm like, boy, what
And then the
is?
bee
I
stings
was
me.
with Michaela. I was with Michaela. Is she the tree or the bee?
She's
What
the
is
bee.
okay? Does he need a new tree? Is that why the bee kept coming? What what is he getting at with
Yo,
this
y'all,
analogy?
Nisha and
I
I
was
are
like,
too much alike. I was
just
like,
tell
okay,
Michaela you need to calm your tail down, stop acting a fool, and I will stay around. That's all she had to do. But I feel like the
I
analogy just caused more blurred lines and not red lines. Like it just caused more gray areas. Just come out and say, I don't like the way you handled that. If that happens again, I can't be in this relationship.
oh, I love high vibes. Okay, so if I'm sitting
Not
under a tree
an
and if I'm sitting under a tree and the bee comes along and then I swat the bee, or I'm sorry, I'm reading a book. I love this book. I'm reading this book. I'm reading Married at First Sight. Then I swat the bee, and then another bee comes And I set that one. And then I moved to another tree. And then the third bee stings me. What am I supposed to do? I'm like, Zach, listen, I keep saying that you have communication issues. Zach. So to me, Michaela's already annoyed. She's already pissed off. She wants to be better, but she don't know how because she has like I don't even know what to call it, kind of issues that she's going through. And then you give her this analogy, she ain't even listening to that. So that was funny. That was kind of crazy. I was like, I thought y'all needed to talk it out. You need to stop with these analogies. She's not even listening to you. Um, that's one. And then,
Yeah, I
but then,
just, yeah.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, she didn't even hear him. She was like, but Zach, if you just act like I came in here and I flew off the handle, you did. That's why he had this reaction. He was like,
Mhm.
because girl, you did. You flew off the handle and then you canceled the event. He's like, I'm done. And I don't blame him. But at the same time, you can't come and try to give her these analogies. And then she's like, so am I the tree? No, girl, you the bee. And but she's not listening to him. So that was
Mhm.
funny. Then yeah, it was just a lot. Go
What
let's
I
let's
want to say about that, or not about that, but just about them as a whole, I feel like Michaela is trying to take the control back. So um when Zach got COVID, I feel like she had to leave and she couldn't be at the retirement home and on the fake beach. She got an attitude and I think she felt like Zach has one up on me in some weird way. In some weird way, she felt like she was out of control. And when Zach comes back, she blows up. She's being very tit for tat with Zach. She is still being tit for tat with Zach. And the fact that their position should be switched. It's like Michaela should be the one saying, how do I fix this? How do I change this? Because she's the one that snapped, started cussing, all this stuff. But you see now Zach's crying in the next episode. This is what I meant at the beginning of the season when I said she gonna take him on a roller coaster ride. She is gonna take him for a ride because she is already kind of got the control back. Maybe she felt she gave up the cookie too soon. Now this is her way of kind of getting back in control. Cause I just feel like she the way she's acting now, as if Zach went off on her, as if Zach, like, what did he do? He didn't text you. He didn't sleep next to you. Yeah, for because he was putting the dog to sleep. That's still questionable. That's still questionable. But that's what he did wrong, and you're still kind of punishing him for that and being tit for tat. And it's like, when does it stop, Michaela? When do you really realize you're married and you need to work through this? So yeah, I just feel, and I think she's a great actress, is what I'll say. Cause when she went around them couples, she knows how to turn on that smile, that character, and act like everything's good and put on that facade. I'm like, Lord. But when they were cooking, the girl couldn't boil water. I'm like, how? First of all, spaghetti is one of the first dishes I learned how to cook. Spaghetti and tacos, everybody should know how to make that. So they making some basic shrimp pasta, and you telling me you don't know how to boil the pasta. You done put so much seasoning in there. Zach over there crying, running to the refrigerator. It was a mess. I don't think it's the woman's place, like she has to cook, but one of y'all need to know how to do something in the kitchen. One of y'all.
girl, that was the blind leading the blind. Did they stop breaking the pasta? Why aren't y'all breaking the pasta? The pasta sticking out of the pot. neither one of y'all know how to boil water? I was like, okay, what is happening? I had such an issue with that whole scene. And I thought it was a really cute date. I was like, this is cute, but somebody need to know how to boil water. Somebody need to know how to and she just and I said, now did they edit this or is she just shaking that seasoning in there? And I could tell on Zach's face he said, you're gonna stop shaking the seasoning. With neither of
It
them know
was
how
like
to
a
do it.
smidget of water in that pot, and she was just dunking
Yes.
and dunking.
I was like, y'all at least know how to boil pasta. Like, please. And the poor guy on Zoom, they just stopped the Zoom after a while because I was like, after a while, I didn't even see him anymore because nobody knows how to boil water or cook the pasta, let alone the shrimp and everything else. But let's go back to a conversation about, and I don't know all of his things on his list, but I appreciated the list, although I didn't think that he needed to restate it if he said, I've let this list go. But to me, the list made sense. He said, then he also said somebody that's honest, somebody that's with integrity, somebody that's ambitious. He says the same thing that a lot of people say. He's like somebody that knows how to settle conflict. She's like, oh, I can think I can do one or two of those things, but I can't do all 12. I said, girl, you need to start worrying about this list and worry about how to just not fly off the handle. That's what you need to worry about. And them not knowing how to just settle things, but I want to go back to something you said that that she needs to get back control. I actually totally agree with you that she felt like she was out of control and there are going to be times she's not going to have control and that these are what we're seeing when she doesn't have control of the situation. That's when she flies off the handle. When she gets mad. Remember when after he left that night after the dinner party, he said, I don't want to sleep here tonight. He goes to his own apartment and he calls the next day. He calls her the next day. She's like, I don't want to talk. If you need to speak to me, text me, because she didn't want to talk to him. And I said, girl, every time you get in your feelings, you do this tit for tat thing. You do this thing where you need to stop and relax and not do this to yourself because uh, yeah, and because it doesn't look, and he's like, she starts acting childish again. So they're just going to keep going back and forth, and um, they're trying to resolve it. I'm in this. I really want to make this work. He seems like he's getting the mature. He's either getting the mature edit, or where everybody's saying how young he is, how young he is. He's much more mature than we gave him credit for in the beginning. I thought 27 was a good age, but ooh, I know that Auntie was saying that he's weak. I don't necessarily think he's weak. I actually think that he's becoming a little bit. The roles are reversed. He's becoming more mature than she, or he just likes to settle conflict differently. Go ahead, Misha.
I don't have nothing else for them, but
I know.
I think that's all I have for them. I think maybe some will come to my mind. I didn't take no notes because these episodes are dragging at this point. But I'm like, can we get to the good stuff? Like we done sat through so much, like now we had to sit through all their date nights and yeah, but whatever. That's what I have for them. So next is Bao and Johnny. So his yes, we gonna get to Merla after Bao and Johnny. We gonna get to Merla because I got a lot for Mr. Gill, but we gonna get to that. But Bao and Johnny, Bao and Johnny. That's okay. This is what I'm saying about the production and the editing because it didn't Johnny and Bao's first sit down, it didn't make sense to me why Johnny was so mad and why he was calling Bao judgmental or why he was Like, you could see the veins in his head. I didn't get where that was coming from. This man just told her in the last episode that he don't think he's married. So of course she has like this insecurity, uncertainty about where the relationship is going. So for them to sit down and she's saying that, and him to say, well, that was yesterday. You need to ask me today how I feel. And I'm like, okay, Johnny, what is going on with you? This is where I'm kind of like, Bow, you need to speak up. Bow, be assertive. Like, because this man is not perfect. And he's over here pointing out every little thing about you. This is why you need to speak up so you can give him something else to focus on. Because the fact that this last episode, you telling people you're not attracted to her, she's in the friend zone basically, and now you're trying to act like that didn't happen, or like she should just forget about that. And I didn't in that scene, I didn't like what was going on. So you can go ahead.
In which scene? The first scene, their dinner scene, the salmon scene?
The first scene where she had the avocado sauce,
Right.
tomato thing all dripped all over the salmon.
All over the salmon, and but at the same thing, something just came in my head. Maybe Michaela needs to take cooking lessons from Val. That literally just came in my head. But they need to put that salad on the side. That was dripping everywhere. Y'all, this I go back and forth because I like Johnny, but oh gosh, so. I do think, and Johnny has said in Unfiltered, he said that that's not how that happened. We had an argument right before this scene. So I feel like that something must have happened beforehand because, and I got a little bit more insight into Johnny's. One, we kept saying how honest he is and how upfront with her he is. I almost think he's honest to a fault where she is not the type to take the honesty. Like she's never been, or I don't want to say never because I don't know her, but like in a relationship where somebody is so honest with her that, or so honest so quickly with her that she doesn't know how to take this. So when he says stuff like, well, I don't, and I think like the last one, I can't remember exactly what he said, him being honest when Pastor Cal was with him, you could see how much that was paining him to say, like you act like a little kid or whatever, and you jump around and stuff like that. You saw how that was paining him to say that. And then, him trying to be honest with her. I said, you need to sugarcoat this a little bit more with Val. She's not the type to take all your honesty like this, like a gut punch. It's just not helping. So now I was like, ooh, Val got a kind of a potty mouth too. Go ahead, Val. I was like, all right. Like you guys. So she's like, but I appreciate that she's sticking up for herself as well. I think that, gosh, so their dinner, the reason I say it gave me insight into them is she's the type that it seems to me that she has noticed there certain things about him. I notice when you pull back, or I notice that, when you're not quite there or you're frustrated and stuff like that, but you're taking so much time to notice his nonverbal communication that you're not just asking him what's going on in your head. So you're assuming that he's in one type of mood, but he may not be. So she's just assuming that he's not all in this. I do think that because of the things that he was hit with, he was in. Everybody's saying, oh no, he doesn't like her, he's not attracted to her. He was in the first 2 days, I think, until after that picnic when she was wearing the 2X shirt, and he just got hit with just so much stuff that he's like, she's not my type. I'm not sure. Like then all the negativity started to just overpower him. Last thing, well, not the last thing because we got more on them, but at least he knows this about himself. He's like, there's so many things that they got right with us There's 97% right, and that 3% I pick at to death. And I said, at least you know that that's what you do, because a lot of people don't recognize that in themselves. So the fact, and I think that that's what's kept him there, that he's recognizing that that's the type of person that he is. Um, and then they slept together. So I was like, okay, Val, you're not doing the giddy thing anymore. Are you like becoming a woman? Like, where are you like? I said, what is happening? I said, oh, you're getting a little bit, you know. So it was almost weird the scene that when they slept together, because it's almost like she said the right thing. I had to watch it again to rewrite. To She said, um, I want to get on the right page. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, get common ground. She said, and I said, oh, so she said the right thing, and he started to get some feels. He started to feel some feels, and the next thing you know, they go into the other room. So I thought that was interesting. I hope that now I feel like they almost started to relax, and she started to relax, and we saw a different side of Val. She still got that analytical thing that she does, but I'm like, okay, this he can get over if she relaxes all the other things. Lastly, and then I'll let you speak, I think that she is taking more showers that we're not talking about. I think that she's doing more than 3 days a week. There ain't no.
I hope so. I
That's the
hope so.
last thing. That's the last thing. I'm gonna pray on that. Go ahead.
But yeah, uh, every time I see her, that's all. It's like every scene, I'm like, did she shower today? If she hugs somebody, I'm like, did she shower today? And I don't, I, that's all, if he liked the little funky cookie, if he want the funk, give him the funk.
Not the
I am
same
glad
cookie.
they I am glad they moved forward in this, but I am just like, yeah, the I don't know. I don't know if they resolved anything. That's my kind of thing about them having sex, taking it to that step. Did they really resolve anything? Because they had the sex, and I think it kind of gives Bao a false hope, because now she thinks everything's great, we're moving forward. But then, as you can see, when they're on the little painting date and she starts getting analytical, he's getting turned off again. So I don't know. I don't know if they jumped the gun, but I don't know if things were stable enough to just introduce that. I think Johnny is nasty. Johnny is a little freaky hentai boy, and he like that stuff. So I think at this point he's like, Val, you done stressed me out enough. It's time for me to get me some. And he got him some. And you saw after he had his fried chicken, he was ready to have it again. So yeah, I don't know about them. I want to bring up when they're
Yeah,
at the barbecue, and what is Bao's like ranting in the confessional about Rachel and Jose. She calls him Rose. I'm like, Bao, are you jealous? Are you jealous, Bao?
I
Is
was
that
like,
she
Rose.
seemed very jealous? I was like, okay, Bao, but yeah, that's all I have for them this episode.
Do y'all think that, and I was about to type this in the chat, do y'all think that Johnny is an F boy? Do y'all think that he's kind of an F boy? Because he was like, it's
No,
like,
I think he's a freak. I think
he's
he's
a
a
freak.
super freak. That's what I think he is. I don't think he's an F boy. He might be a sophisticated F boy. I've never dealt with a sophisticated F boy, because the way he kind of, I don't want to say nags her. I don't want to say it's nagging, because he's entitled to like what he likes, but it seems like he is just anything he doesn't like, he's ready to walk out the door. So I don't know.
It was just really weird to me that like and then we saw the painting thing that he got frustrated again because her like her nitpicking. But it almost seemed like after they had sex, all the walls came crumbling down. Like he just had like a brick wall just barrel down. I was like, wow. Like, so she's now perfect. I was like, what is happening? As, and I had to,
But it's the
he had
same.
his, no,
It's the
no,
same
Amy.
thing with Michaela and Zach. They did that, and then everything came crumbling down, which might happen. Which might happen to them because you're getting caught up in infatuation and sex, and that doesn't last. That climax does not last that long. You're gonna come back to reality soon enough. So
Right, right. So, well, we all think that Michaela and Zach went in too quick, but I don't know. I think that with Val, she needed time, and Johnny was like, he needed that physical touch to like have all the walls crumble down. I just thought that was just so interesting. I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. That those walls are gonna come right back up. Yeah, Tia, I'm so happy to see you, Tia. We missed you the other night. Um, but he's a freak. Remember when he said bad? When he said Bao could have sex with Conan O'Brien as long as he could watch. You He did say that on the honeymoon. I just remember that. By the way, no woman should ever blindly agree to do anything a man wants to do in bed. Yeah, and I think that was Bao's issue. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna win this dart." She did not want to. And I was like, I think he's joking. You know what? I keep giving Johnny the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to do that. I was going to say he was probably joking and he had his vanilla sex, but I'm not going to say that because look,
no, he got 50 Shades of Johnny in him. He got whips and chains and stones and bricks and knives and I don't know what he got underneath that mattress. I'm like, I'm gonna stay over here, John.
yeah, I can't. I'm gonna take that way back. I think that there's some more to Johnny that we don't know or we have not seen yet. Um, because there's just no way. I think there's more 50 Shades of Johnny. I love it. So, uh, yeah, I think that what's her name, Val did come off a little jealous or something. I was like, what are you talking about that they should be rosé? I was like, then now that's not something that the producers fed you. Like that was that didn't sound like Val, but that's not, that's not something that the producers fed you. Uh,
I'm telling you what I'll say is all them women saw Jose's house and Merla was giving Jose the beady eyes.
say it.
Jose out on the front lawn throwing shade. I'm like, they saw that house and they felt away. Merla talking about, oh, I don't like going to other people's house. She walked in that room, just flew straight across that bed. You saw Gail massaging her shoulder, like, okay, get up, Merla. You ain't even this comfortable at home. Get off the bed, Merla.
She said, "Oh, your
You
bed
was
is so
digging in that
big."
shoulder, boy. He was like, okay, Merla, that's enough, Merla. Get up.
You're absolutely right. She said, "Oh, your belly's so big." I was like, "Really? You're the one like, oh, you must be an introvert. I don't like going over people's houses." And I was like, "Oh, you gonna loosen up real quick when you see Jose's house." Like, oh no, she was not. I gotta put the 50 Shades of Johnny back up there because that's hilarious. Um, yeah, I just think there's gonna be more to come with Val and Johnny. I go back and forth with them. As of like 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, they ain't gonna make it. I still have that in my head that they may say yes on decision day, but I just think there's just too many things. There's too many things. Um, yeah, I feel like there was more, but I feel like that's the big ones that
Yeah, I
gave it up.
guess we can move on
Yeah.
to Merla and Gail.
Okay.
So, Merla, okay, so this is what, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Gil got on my good side when he pulled out that great value lotion and was massaging her feet. I was like, okay, because that I'm not even gonna lie. I have a lot of smoke for Gil, but that massage would have got me. The way he was massaging her foot, looking her deep in her eyes, he just knew. He just knew. Okay, it's going. Finally, that barrier is going to go down after this. And he's like, "Does that feel good? Do you like that, Merla?" And she's like, "No, my feet don't hurt. I work from home. I was like, Merla, my goodness, like Merla, she don't like that man. I'm like, I appreciate a massage from anyone. Like, you don't even you go to a masseuse and get massaged by a random person, but like the fact that she, like, her being massaged by Gil does nothing for it. Like, you can get me a massage any time of the day, whether I worked or not. I am accepting that massage, okay? So it was crazy to see her kind of like, you know what? I don't blame her. I like that Merla stands her ground. She does what she wants. She sticks to her boundaries and what she wants. But I knew I probably would have gave in after that foot massage. But I was like, okay, Gil, I see you stepping up. I see you making more effort. But then we get to this restaurant and he starts saying, first of all, I thought it was very reasonable. I like to go to brunch. We can go out to dinner 2 times a month. And he had the nerve to sit there and say, when you thought about this restaurant, did you think if I would like it? I'm like, boy, you were the one that booked this plane at the honeymoon, knowing she doesn't like that stuff like that. She don't like boats, planes, and things like that because she gets motion sickness. She told you that. You were not thinking, you didn't have that same logic when you booked that plane for her. So now you're at this restaurant talking about, oh, well, did you think about me when you were picking out this restaurant? I'm like, Gil, if you can't afford it, just say that. If you cannot afford it, just say that. And saying you prefer home cooked meals. And I am just like, Gil, I was getting there with you. And now this, and now I never left Team Merla, but I was just kind of peeking at Gil, like, okay, maybe there is something to him. But after that restaurant scene, I was like, Merla, Merla, I'm like, I don't know if Merla is holding back or if she just don't care that much. But I was like, Merla, say something. And she just sat there and smiled and said, I would like to go to brunch every Sunday. And I was just like, okay, Gil, like, he just reminds me of someone. I just, that scene with, I just, yeah, she already told you. She already told you she picked the restaurant because it had a cute drink that she could put on Instagram. So what else? Like, if you know that's why she likes it, that's why she likes it. She already told you why she liked it. And to try and make it, I don't know. You can go ahead and go. But yeah, that scene just frustrated me.
I want to go back to the foot massage. I totally agree with you that that foot massage was a good foot massage. And Merla, she was just kind of scenes like, I don't know, I guess so. I guess it was a five. I was like, girl, he's really massaging your feet. He was not skimping on that foot massage. That's one. But I want to go back to something she said. And as you guys know, that I'm thawing to Merla. I'm not totally, the ice isn't totally melted, but I'm thawing to her. I'm really getting, like, as I just said about Johnny, I'm getting more of an insight into Merla. She wants things to be actionable. Like, instead of just saying things, do it, right? So I really appreciated that she said that. She wants an actionable person. So she's like, and so me, I know how much you love chocolate chip cookies. So when she did the chocolate chip cookie thing at the on the honeymoon at the retirement home at the Golden Girls Resort, She did those little things. First, I thought it was kind of staged because he'd been doing things all week, and she did that little gesture. So I do think that she was trying to get to know him. And then she's like, "And you bought another 2 dozen of chocolate chip cookies." And I'm like, Gil, stop throwing these little jabs at her. I feel like that yes, he does think these things, but you don't have to put an amplified like jab at her. Like, and she's like, so much so that I'm a little worried about you that you eat so much chocolate chip cookies. I think if he's going through 2 dozen chocolate chip cookies, you need to be worried. So I think I'm glad she did say something because I was like, ooh, Gail, that's a lot. So she's like, I'll make you, and I noticed she said this, I'll make you some keto chocolate chip cookies. And so he had to do a little jab, but he said, yes, I'll try it. I said, is this your just sarcastic way of being funny? Because I was like, man, you go and try the chocolate chip cookies. Just say yes sometimes and stop trying to jab her every time. Now I want to go to the oh, I forgot the little thing with the he because they go work out a lot apparently, and he got the little ring, the little rubber ring on Amazon, and Rachel was like, "This was really sweet. He really thought about you." I was like, "Rachel's not that big of a deal. It's a little rubber ring," but it was considerate. It wasn't like this sweet, sweet gesture, but at least he's being considerate. I think he likes that. I think he does like to be considerate of her. Um, the restaurant, I was like, I don't mind going to a restaurant like to because you saw, oh, this has a cute drink or this is cute, and let's go for the experience, right? But I think he really wants to see if she is doing other things to get to know him, but I think he's just putting it in the wrong way, and the way he expresses it is wrong. So he's like, well, why did you pick this restaurant? Because I like the little drink, that's the Chanel drink. And he's like, is that the only reason you like that the restaurant? So I feel like to him, I think you like quality time, I like quality time. You want to go out. She wants brunch every Sunday and out to dinner twice a week. You didn't say that. She wants not just brunch every Sunday, and dinner twice a week. That to him, he's like going out to dinner to you is quality time. Me spending time and us cooking together. I feel like he was trying to say cooking together and spending time at the house is quality time to him. They're just not equally yoked. They're not equally matched. They're not a good match. They're not a good match. She's not into him. This woman's going to look at that, and that was product placement. That was brand placement. They took a huge wide shot of that Palmer's lotion, and I was like, girl, why don't you put some high end lotion on that girl's feet, and maybe she'll feel maybe she'll be happy about it. The Palmer's lotion is $2.99. So I do think that like he is a family man, and I think that he's a firefighter, and I think that he has just been somebody that's not lived the way she's lived for years.
Right.
So they're just not equally matched. I do appreciate that she's like, I want somebody that's actionable. I did appreciate that because that's at least letting you know this is what I would like. I think that he wants the same thing, but he wants that affection. He just wants more. He wants more from her. And he wants to see more. He wants to know what I can't remember what exactly he said at the dinner table, but he's like, I want to know that you want me, or something like that, he said. So she's just not there. She's not there yet. And I think that it scares her. Yeah. It's that I think that she's thawing to him too. But this is not the scenario where, I don't jump in real quickly. But you've got 2 months. If you wanted that type of scenario, then you wouldn't get married at first sight. So she's like, oh, I take my time even to kiss somebody. I take 3 weeks to kiss somebody. Girl, most of the show is 3 weeks, So this is not gonna, or 2 months to kiss somebody. This is not the same scenario. They're just not equally yoked or not equally matched, like at all. So yeah, I just think Gil has been saying that this is the type of person I am. This is what I want. I think that he has been vocal about it and she's been vocal too. They don't want the same things. That's it.
This is why I say Gil should have been matched with Brett. They're both low maintenance. They're very easy to please. They they would have connected. I don't know if they would have just became friends or what, but they would have gelled much easier than trying to put Gil and Merla.
Mm-hmm.
They have two different, they have, everything's different, like their love language, their lifestyles, their preferences, everything's different. So it's like, it's not fair that either one of them, I would say, would have to change. I don't think that Merla should be put down or called nicknames because he's calling her princess. She could call him Brokey or anything. So I just wish that aspect he would kind of knock it off. Like, we get it. She's high maintenance. She's whines a lot. We get it. And yeah, I just don't think he's not the guy for her, and I think she knows that. But it's I don't think Merla's settling. I think she knows what she wants. I think she knows her standards. But the whole brunch conversation with the whole, will you go to brunch with me every Sunday and go to dinner twice a week? I kind of slightly understood what he was getting at as far as just being a silhouette there for her little Instagram boomerangs. But I think that's all she wants from him at this point, because he really don't have nothing else to offer her. I think at this point she's like, okay, you look good enough to take me out to brunch. Can we do that? So yeah, I don't.
No, and Amaya was saying it was she wants dinner out twice a month and brunch every Sunday. If it's twice a month,
Yeah,
that's actually not that bad. I thought it was twice. I thought she said twice a week. I thought I looked at it twice,
no.
but if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. So if it's twice dinner twice a month, and then but she does want brunch every Sunday. I guess that's not too bad. Dinner twice a month is not that's not that bad. But I do think that he did have a point. If, yeah, I'm just supposed to be, a body for you for brunch on Sunday. Like, what do you see in me? I think, but he's not. Again, he has communication issues too. It's like, what are you trying to say, Gil? Are you? But he wasn't really expressing it as clear as he could have been. So
I got what he was saying, but at this point, there's no savings. The savings he claims he has, nobody can touch it, and it's in a different currency. So his 401k, Merla already said, ain't nothing there. And you're talking about having these 8 kids in this house and building this life together that she is not. She's like, no, I don't want to meal prep every day and sit at home and watch football, whatever he does. But yeah, I think he could go out twice a week. And even the whole thing about him being a firefighter, he is a volunteer firefighter. He firefights twice a week. So
no,
he's
it's
not
48
meal
hours.
prepping, huh?
He has 48 hours, so he 24 hours and then another 24 hours.
Yeah, so he's not like he would have the time to go with her, go out. He doesn't have to, like, he could bend a little with the dinner thing. I don't think it was that big of a deal as he was trying to make it. I
Mhm.
think his emotions and feelings towards, since they're not being met, I felt that was kind of lingering over into the dinner discussion. Cause like he said, I just want to feel wanted. And I'm like, she don't want you. So she can't make you feel wanted. So I don't know about them, but
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, she don't want you. She don't want you. And I said, gosh, you guys are literally gonna go around this merry-go-round for another what a month because this is going to be the same, and it's going to be the same conversation because he keeps bringing
Mhm.
up um, finances and her shoes and her like her shopping habit. She's going to keep bringing up his, I guess, lack of shopping habit. It's just going to be a merry-go-round. So that's why I'm just like, uh, um, yeah, it's going to be the same conversation. I don't think he's dusty. I refuse to call him dusty. I just don't like, and I also just don't like that term. I don't think he. I just don't like that term. But I do think because and also I know a couple of dusty men. I know that don't bring anything to the table, and they want a woman to take care of them. And I know what they look like. That doesn't look like Gil. Because I actually know one right now. That's probably never mind. But but
Yeah.
but my point is, he brings stuff to the table. He just doesn't bring what Mirla wants to the table. He just not he they're just not equally, and it's just going to be a merry-go-round. So that was just a bad match altogether. It
Yeah,
was just a
it
bad match.
seems because there's the rubber ring that he gave her because she was complaining about the other ring. She didn't like that. She didn't like the foot massage. So it's like, I don't, there's so many, like, and even what is her name? Rachel, she said, I think she does like him. She's not saying it, and I don't know why. And so I thought that was interesting that like
Yeah,
Rachel felt that way, but I'm like,
she did say that. She's like,
I don't
I
know,
don't know
sometimes
why.
it does feel like she's playing hard to get, or because
I think so
here's
too.
my thing, you can still be nice. So even if you don't like the man, his little gestures, you can say thank you and move on, but she always seems to complain about or put it down, which makes me think I think she does like something about him, but I don't know. I don't think she's playing hard to get. I don't know. But at the same time, I think her kind of rejecting his efforts and like kind of putting them down makes me think, okay, do you like something about him? Is there something there? Or maybe she knows, maybe there is certain things she does like about him, but she knows overall he is not the guy for her.
I agree. I do think that she's a type that is likes to play hard to get, and that she like puts up this barrier, and I don't want to give him too much. And she has probably had certain things in her life that, oh, if I give him an inch, he'll take a mile type of thing. I don't want to let him into my heart until I know for sure that this is real, or that this is gonna last forever. So she puts up this barrier, and and that was actually kind of interesting with the rubber ring that you reminded me of, because Rachel was like, that is a cute gesture and everything. And she's like, yeah, told my husband that I wanted a Cartier one, and he said he'd get it for me. I said, girl, you are lying. Gil did not tell
He
you.
said he get it for you in your name. He gonna be swiping your card. Like, because they had a discussion about this Cartier bracelet and the crochet blanket at the honeymoon, and he did not seem like the Cartier buying type. Like, it's not even about being broke or not being able to afford it. Even if he could afford it, he just seems like he would not spend his money on that.
Right. Until after they got the house, this, that, and everything else. He's not going to spend, not right away. Definitely not in the first year. So I don't
Mhm.
know where she got that from. I thought that was kind of funny. Um, yeah, I just think it's going to be a merry-go-round, and I think that he's now finding it fun. Like the 8 kids thing, I didn't even believe that. Like that literally went in one ear and out the other. Because I said, this girl
Mhm.
told you right after she said I do, 2 kids at the most, and then he pulls the 8 kids on her. I said, oh, he must be joking. This must be his sarcasm coming through.
Hopefully.
Didn't even listen to it. I was like, yeah, you know this woman is not, unless you're adopting the 6, because she's not having 8 kids for you or for anybody
Mhm.
else. So I did like the dinner party though. I did like the dinner party. I thought it was interesting what groups, or funny, what groups veered off to different spots.
I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Ryan, Zach, and Johnny to be having this little kumbaya, like being on the same page. And I was not expecting Gail to be laying on that man's bed. But yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. And you know what's funny? You just reminded me of, and I said, Johnny, what's his name? Johnny, Ryan, and Zach are the three guys that are having issues with their wives.
Mm-hmm.
And but I also thought it was weird that Gil didn't leave his wife. Like I didn't like, go hang out with the boys. I thought that was weird too. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
did think it was weird which groups veered off into the different spots. Like he probably took a tour, or they probably said, "Hey, you want to see the house? You want to take a tour of the house?" And that's just how it happened. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was
But
weird.
Ryan did throw a little bit of shade though. And what's her name? Brett was like, be positive, stay positive. I don't know if it was about Michaela or Merla. He said something, I can't remember, but I was
Oh,
laughing.
y'all, that's what I wanted to say. That you could tell that Zach, it was about Michaela, that Zach spilled the beans, spilled the tea, that she popped off. That's what,
Mm,
absolutely, Zach told the boys, and we didn't see that. Like, that was cut. That he had to tell them. He said, "Oh, Michaela's gonna be there." Oh, and Brett was like, "Oh, that's cool. We're all gonna meet each other. Oh, that's cool that everybody will be there. That's great." And then he was like, "Oh, we'll see," like that. And be positive. She's like, "Be positive." So not only did Zach tell the boys about it, but then the boys go home and then they talk to their wives. That's exactly what I thought. So,
right.
yeah.
And the girls are probably like, what? Because she sat at that brunch, whatever it was, and acted like everything was cool. And now Ryan comes home and Gil comes home. Mr. Chat. Oh, let's touch. I totally forgot about that part when Gil comes to the barbecue and says, "Well, I feel that love is you fall for love, and my wife thinks it's a choice." And it's like, Gil, there you go, talking too much. It's like he gets in these circles and he wants to be asking all these questions about people's relationships, and now he's putting his wife on blast. And I'm like, Gil, Chatty Patty, sit down
But
and just, yeah.
this is the funny thing is that this is the one I didn't mind, and I'll tell you why. It's because he did it like a dinner conversation. The other ones, you're talking about this woman behind her back. This one, I was like, okay, you're actually trying to get their opinion on it. I do think he was too chatty, and so my wife thinks this, but at least he did it with her sitting there. You know what I mean, like a conversation. The other
Yeah,
two,
but I kind of feel like it was an underhanded type of trying to get people on his side or
mm,
thinking he's right in this and
mhm,
thinking I'll say this out in public and get all of them to kind of get her to see that she's wrong or that my way, my thought was better. So I can
mhm.
see how that comes into play. But that was like, that's a personal conversation. To me, I don't think that's something you just bring up at a barbecue. You just throw out like, who else? Like, I don't know. Barbecues
No,
are
I
supposed to be
do.
lighthearted and
Right.
fun, and you walk in the room, sit down. My wife said, I'm like, Gil, my goodness.
You know that is my huge pet peeve is this man and these people talking behind somebody's back like that. Like he did
Yeah.
twice. That is a huge thing for me. But this time, to your point, I feel you might be correct in saying that he's trying to get them on his side. But at the same time, at least he did it with her sitting right there and as part of their
Yeah.
conversation. They're going to talk about the dinner. They're going to talk because they're all in this situation together. So I wasn't surprised that they talked their relationship and stuff like that and what
Hmm.
their view on love is and their view on the relationship is. But I was just glad that he did it in front of them and like a part of the conversation because he has been squawk, 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 squawk. So yeah. So this is the only time I didn't mind that as much. But at the same time, you do have a point. He just wants to get people on his side too. So that is, but the way he did it was okay with me because she's sitting there as part of the dinner conversation. He didn't come down the stairs like he did at the honeymoon. What do you guys think of this place? My wife thinks that like a gossipy little girl. Like so this one wasn't as bad to me.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I don't know. He just, yeah, he has his ways with, like, High Vibe said, Gil's always trying to publicly shame Merla. And I peeped it. I picked up on it. So I just, yeah, it just,
No,
and also I just think he's a little sassy. I think he just talked too much. So I don't know if all of it is intentional, but I do think he talks too much. Like
no, you can't get
it's not even just about Merla. It's like he gets in front of them. So, and that's why Zach called him out. I think that's why Zach called him out. Like, did Merla kiss you yet? Like, okay, you want to get everybody's business. Let's get in yours. Like, what's going on there? And he sat there like, I touched her shoulder. He had to make a joke out of it.
He said,
but
the answer is no. Is no, which was funny. And I was like, yeah, tell the truth. But you can't give him the sassy nickname. You got to give that to Jose. Because he's talk too. He's a little sassy man. So I'm sorry. He's this man. And I'm not even trying to say anything about his sexual orientation. I'm trying to say he's too sassy. He needs to and stop being so judgmental and thinking that if somebody's not on his level, then they're nothing, and stop consulting your board. So I think Jose is the sassy one. We're gonna have to give y'all what nicknames do you want to give these guys, give these couples next time because yeah, that's gonna be funny. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I have for these couples. Yeah.
This was so much fun, y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Friday night, CMK After Dark. Marriage, this is our second episode. Marriage is more than a piece of paper. Please tune in. Please subscribe to both of our channels, Crystal Annette on YouTube and Misha Allen. Yes, and so Saturday, I'm going to be having an all men's panel. All men. We're going to be talking about, dating with intention, dating with a purpose. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead, Misha.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. I will possibly be doing a discussion. I'll announce it later because I'm waiting for some confirmation on that. But there will be some more discussions on my channel. Yes, tune in tomorrow for CMK After Dark, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you guys so much for joining. And yeah, thank y'all. We'll be back.
Y'all, you guys got to tune in to, and I didn't want to have, I always love to give Misha the last word, but Misha has what do you call it? A thing on Darian's little interview with Ron. It is hilarious.
Oh.
Yes. Misha and her outtakes with these excerpts are just hilarious. Please, she hit 1,000. So
yes, thank you guys.
Yes, so next is me. Please help me get to 1,000, please.
Yes. Just big shout outs to Janice Hilton, Kamisha Reviews, Marcella. Yes, Marcella, those three ladies were sharing my videos, bringing subscribers to me. So thank you guys for helping me build my community on YouTube. Now we got to get Crystal there. Now we got to get Kimberly reviews there. And yeah, we just got to keep growing.
Yes, thank you guys so much.